You can't store your cans of soup for 25 years. You can't even store bottled water for 25 years. But ReadyWise made it so that you can store gourmet food for your entire family for 25 years. We put it on a weekly deal drop, which is kind of like a today's special. We just launched it last night at midnight. I think we only have fewer than 600 remaining to go around. This is the food that you could not get for the last 2 years. This is the best deal that you will find anywhere by far. And it even comes in one of those dry pack bags that you could pay $30 just for a dry pack bag. $29.98 to get it. You're getting a 7-day supply of food for you. If you have 2 people in the family, it's gonna be about half a week, but you're getting delicious, gourmet prepared foods like creamy mac and cheese, like incredible fusilli pasta I'm looking at. Look at this delicious pastas. You've got teriyaki rice. You've got my favorite with that multigrain breakfast cereal. You're getting everything you need. Delicious. And we're gonna cook this. We're gonna show you when we take this out of those 25-year packages. You can cook this with hot water, but here's the thing that's so different about anything that you've got in your pantry right now. With cold water, it will still reconstitute and make delicious pasta or rice for you. My guest, Stephanie Roberts, is joining me, and it smells incredible. And here's Stephanie, welcome back into the studio.
Thank you, it's wonderful to be here.
We've been going without our food and our ReadyWise, so it's so nice. This is the one, of course, the biggest question. You and I, we both get it. How does it taste?
Of course you want it to taste good, right? I love that that's the first question you ask, and it should be. So what makes ReadyWise different than anything else out there on the market called emergency food is that this is a gourmet recipe. This is put together by chefs. There are real ingredients here, and the reason this tastes so much better than everything else out there, it's really because of the packaging, right? So chefs put together the recipes. The ingredients are the real deal. You'll see whole peas and carrots and chunks and spices just like you want to see in your food. But the scientists made this really cool package so that whatever it is we're making, and let's start with teriyaki rice, all right? It's actually one of my favorites because it's got so much flavor. Whatever it is you're making is kept shelf stable, is kept fresh and safe for you to eat, to make for up to 25 years because the packaging is atmospherically stable. Now, what's that mean? Let's think about what makes food go bad. In Florida, we know most everything, right? Because our food doesn't last long on the shelves. So it's the humidity, it's the oxygen, it's the moisture. So this special, let's call it a smart package, shuts all that out so that when you look at this food that all I did was add water to, you can already see, in fact, I'll pull them up with my spoon here. Oh, I love being back in the studio, you guys, with the nice cameras up here. You can see the peppers, you can see the spices, right? This isn't just a teriyaki flavor. There are real things in this food because that's how you would make it if you were making it by scratch. That's how they make it at your favorite Chinese restaurant. So the recipes here are the real deal. The scientists came up with these cool packages that keeps it safe so that you get great tasting food that's here this time around in a dry bag whenever you need it for up to 25 years. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. We're gonna talk a lot about preparedness. I know we have all day because of the generator today's special, which is an amazing thing. But I will tell you one thing. You don't actually need your generator to have this food taste good because I know you see me here with my pots. All right, let's be real. We all like our food better hot, right?
Of course.
And it reconstitutes a little bit more quickly with warm or hot water. So what I am doing is that I did heat my water. I put my teriyaki rice in here. It's gonna reconstitute, honestly, with warm water like this, probably within the next 5 to 8 minutes. But if we were in a true emergency and I didn't have my generator and I couldn't heat my water, I could take tap water, any water that's safe to drink, lukewarm, stone cold like you northerners have. You're so lucky coming out of your faucets. I miss that cold water when I brush my teeth. But even if your water is ice cold, it will still reconstitute Shannon's favorite, the maple brown sugar oatmeal. It would do it even cold. Now, I'm sure Shannon would rather have her oatmeal warm.
Yes,
But
sure.
listen, if we are in an emergency and this is the food that I have to feed my family and my kids are hungry and the only complaint they have is that I wish it was warm, they're gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, do you smell the spices?
Yeah, well, I'm
it's
glad.
like a hug.
It's funny because that you waited to start this one. We've got the others that smell incredible, but I can't really, it smells like a cinnamon roll.
It's so yummy.
It's so inviting. Yes, it's my favorite. I would eat oatmeal any time of the day or night, cold or hot. By the way, when we talk about water and reconstituting it, we do have this bottle. I know we're gonna demonstrate how this will turn sludgy water into pure water.
Virtually anything.
This is a must have. I have this in my emergency kit as well. So we only have about 700 of these available. We'll show you how it truly does. I mean, I see you've got a little mud puddle back there to show us how that will purify.
We're gonna play with science a little bit.
Because, you know, you want to add pure water. It doesn't have to be hot. But I did a little experiment on this. You want to get several bags of these to keep, of course, and especially at this price. We have it on auto ship. If you are like my family, and I've got 2 boys and a girl, their favorite is mac and cheese.
Okay.
So I did an experiment. I brought this home. I didn't show my son. I just made the mac and cheese and I served it. And he was like, ooh, he goes, oh, that mac and cheese was really good. Okay, by the way, he ate half of it. But it really is, I mean, it's really like 4 normal people-sized servings.
Yeah.
He was like, wow, Mom, that was really good. That's different than the shells and cheese. What kind is it? And I was like, it was this. But I did like that reveal,
and
right?
please do that. We love it when you do that. Because that's just proof that tastes like mac and cheese that you made from scratch.
Right.
He said it was better than the box kind. Little did he know you didn't even have to add milk or butter, right?
Yes.
It's the easy kind. So every single one of these entrees, and we will back up and walk through exactly what is in this dry bag. But what I really want you to know before we dig into the details is that all you need is water. That is it. And that's why this is emergency food. And it doesn't even need to be hot water. So if you are in a true emergency, if you have had to evacuate your home, if the power is out for days on end, if the grocery store shelves are bare, when all those things happen, we still have to feed our family. So what ReadyWise has done is that they have found a way to get great tasting food when all you do is add water, as long as it's safe drinking water, and then you can feed your family. And oh, by the way, once you purchase it, this pouch keeps it safe for up to 25 years. So the value is there if you don't want to use it for on the ready or during the week. And if you do happen to get caught in some of that rain or be in a flooding situation, we put it all in a dry bag, which is new for us.
Yes.
And I like this because you know what? This is easy to carry. So if I needed to grab and go, and I hate to tell you, if there's one thing we know from watching the news, grab and go is just something that happens during emergencies. So this is a really great way to do it.
And this is a great variety as well. Of course, I focused on the mac and cheese. It's all delicious comfort food. So here's what you're getting. Not only are you saving $35, you're getting delicious foods. You're getting the, my favorite, the brown sugar and maple multigrain cereal. You're getting the cheesy macaroni. You get Savory Stroganoff. And we're talking, you get 2 bags of the cheesy macaroni, which is like 8 servings, right?
Yes.
You get 8 servings of the Savory Stroganoff and 8 servings of creamy pasta and vegetables. Did you hear that? Vegetables.
And you can see them in there.
You can. It's crunchy granola. You're getting 2 packages of the potatoes and chicken-flavored pot pie. Talk about comfort food. This is what you want if you're in an emergency situation. And that beautiful, sweet teriyaki rice that really does taste like you bought it in a restaurant. Now, you can add in ReadyWise vegetables and fruits and things like that. I don't think we have very many of those available, but you can always search ReadyWise. This is our weekly deal drop. So when it's gone, it's gone. My suggestion, especially because it's $35 off, is get 2 because you can spread those payments out. Maybe put this on auto ship so you get to secure the price. And if you want them more frequently, of course you can get them. Get 2, and here's why. You want to put this away and not touch it. Hopefully you don't have to have an emergency. Hopefully you don't have a tornado or a hurricane or an earthquake or a flood or a power outage for the next 25 years. I hope and pray that for you. But get one set to eat when you get it home. Because you want to know, you want peace of mind knowing that you've got food, but when you taste it, now you've got peace of mind knowing you've got delicious food for your family waiting in case you need it.
Absolutely, and I like your idea of getting one to open now too for a really long list of reasons. Let's start with food costs, right?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, yeah, we don't need to say a lot more about that because we know they're tough. Well, I did a little math for us. So you are getting 60 servings in this dry bag. When you divide 60 by the $89.95, you get about $1.50 a serving. There aren't too many things you could buy for $1.50 a serving. Now you're thinking, okay, what is a serving? So I want to direct your attention addition to the plate right in front of me. By the way, this was teriyaki rice that I just put together. This is the teriyaki rice that we already cooked. Let's divide this into 4 because every bag comes with 4 servings. Can you see what I've done here?
I don't think I could eat that much.
That's right. So when we say what a serving is, and I'm trying to pull it away so you can see it a little bit, that is a serving. That is rice, that is protein, that is vegetables, that is spices. That is a meal. So I don't want you to think when we say, oh, you're getting 60 servings, that's like 2 bites of food. True story, and I know Shannon knows this for a fact. I have 4 teenage boys. If there is one thing that matters in my life, and literally, it's how we start every meal. Is there gonna be enough to eat? I mean, it's just a never-ending concern in my home. So I'm very conscious of, is this enough for you and your family to eat? So within these 60 servings, it's 7 days of food if you figure 1,800 calories a day with 40 grams of protein, and that's a lot of protein. I like the fact that we went with protein-heavy meals because protein is what helps you stay full. And if you're in an emergency situation and you're obviously not eating or dining to the level that you might normally, you do not want to be hungry, and that is what this is about. It's not about elevated carbohydrates to stuff you. It's not about extra salt and things like that. These are the same recipes that we would make if we were making this from scratch and serving it for dinner tonight. Instead, we've just freeze-dried and dehydrated them, so you're there for you. Am I tempting you with the spicy smell you have here?
As soon as you opened it up, I was like, cinnamon and spices. By the way, when we talk about our teenagers, and I've got one who's going off to college, remember what you ate in college for $1.50? A little plastic bag, and just some
Put in
noodles,
some water, had a lot of things floating in it, and a lot of salt.
A lot of salt, no protein.
Exactly.
For $1.50 a serving.
Great point.
Get this and send it away to with your college student. Maybe make sure that Nana has some great food that she can just add water to. We've got a great whole back-to-school shop. I think this should be head of the class when it comes to our back-to-school shop.
That's a great point.
But go to hsn.com as you're shopping for this weekly deal drop. Search back to school. You'll get all kinds of great deals because this could be for you or it could be for the student who's going back to school. This is delicious food. It's hard to talk while it's cooking because it smells so good. What do you have in your pantry right now or in your emergency kit that will last 25 years? If it's not ReadyWise, it won't last 25 years. You might have a can of soup. How soon does that expire?
Check the expiration date.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
This is like worry-free. You want to be worry-free. There are a lot of other things to worry about when it comes to emergencies, of course. But don't worry, put this away for 25 years. You don't have to go in through your emergency kit and go, well, let's make sure that I've got water. Let's make sure that I've got upgraded soup. Let's make sure. No, you don't have to think about this for 25 years. I see you've got
I did. So this is going to be warm. And again, if you're just joining us and you see us working with these pots, we are reconstituting food with water. All you do is add water, but it doesn't have to be hot water. Shannon gets cranky when she's hungry, so I wanted to make sure I could get this to her as soon as possible. But this is the maple brown sugar oatmeal. Make sure it's cool enough because it is warm right now. But what I want you to do is talk to us about texture and spice, because when you eat something that isn't up to par, it's usually because it's like gummy, or I hate to use the word slimy, but you know how sometimes food just is kind of ick? That's usually its first problem. And then its second problem is that it's bland.
Right. So we've got a nice close-up, by the way. I know you put this on a plate so it would cool off faster, but also so that you could see. This is like a I don't know, a tenth of a serving. I mean, it's gonna serving is going to be a huge bowl, but it cools off faster that way. You could see the whole oats.
Yes.
You know, it's not mush, right? It's not breakfast mush flavored with cinnamon. You can see whole grains in here, which is good to get that fiber. Okay.
Absolutely. No, in terms of the health factor, it is definitely there.
Okay. That tastes like those Irish oats almost, right? Like it's so whole grain. Sorry, I'm talking with my mouth full. Delicious. And we get 2 packages of that, right?
3, actually. Yes, 3. So we're going to take a walk down the table here and break down exactly everything you're getting. You're getting 2 different grain options, if you will. Call it breakfast, call it snack. You know, honestly, in an emergency situation, I'll call it happy to eat anytime. But the one is the one Shannon's trying right there, the brown sugar and maple. And you're getting 3 different pouches of that. And each pouch makes those 4 bowls that you see there. So check for breakfast for the week. And and then I'll show you the granola, which is the other grain option for snacks in just a minute. This is the next one that we've made. It is the teriyaki rice. So if I were to put this, Shannon told us the story about how you tricked your kids and fed them ReadyWise one night. If you put this in one of those paper, cardboard, white to-go containers, your family would never know you didn't just get this in carryout, because the flavors are that good. The red pepper spicing is that good. And that's what I love so much about this food, is that it tastes like you expect it to based on the name. All right, this next one is the chicken pot pie with veggies in it. By the way, it is gluten-free. So another thing that ReadyWise has tried to do is that we recognize that people have some dietary restrictions.
Sure.
But guess what? In an emergency, dietary restriction or not, you gotta eat.
Yeah.
So there are gluten-free options here as well. That is the chicken and pot pie. I believe I have that one right here.
Those are big chunks. You can see the real vegetables in there. And
yes.
At first I thought it was pasta, but those are real potato.
That is real potato. And that's the thing about everything that we're making and showing you here. Those are carrots. Those are flecks of parsley. And there's the peppers over there. Those are chunks of potato. And you know what? The potato isn't mush. It's not, I call it paste, right? There's nothing worse than when you eat something and it's got that pasty consistency. I'm a very big texture girl. If the texture is out, I'm out. So these potatoes have a little snap to them, you know, so that you can tell that they were fresh, then they were freeze-dried and dehydrated, and now they're ready to be a meal. So this is what you're getting with the chicken pot pie, which, by the way, I cook a fair amount because I have 4 boys. What choice do I have? Pot pie is a pain to make. There's a lot that goes into it. To be able to have it come out of a pouch and taste even a little better than mine, I'm like, how do you do this, right? Wise has got it going on.
That's given me a great idea. Now I'm gonna just put that with a little
pastry crust.
Pastry crust. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a whole other show on how you could cheat when cook with this as well, but we'll try to keep it focused on making sure we're prepared. This is the creamy vegetable rotini, right? So you've got that wonderful cream sauce. Again, you can see the peas, the carrots, the red peppers, the spices are there. This is 4 different servings on this platter, so we are not skimping on the servings. When you taste this, when you make this, it is going to satisfy you. And that one is also, I believe, oh no, that one is not gluten-free. The teriyaki rice is also the one that is gluten-free. Cheesy mac, the one that was such a hit with your family. Tastes amazing, and quite honestly, not that there's anything wrong with boxed mac and cheese, I'll be the first to tell you I feed it to my family, but they prefer it when I make it from scratch and make my, you know, my roux and my cheese sauce.
Ooh, yeah.
That's what that tastes like. So they have been able to encompass that richness in the sauce. And then beef stroganoff, which honestly is kind of like a hug from mom and grandma. You know, it's just that comfort food feeling. And then finally, something else I want you to try, Shannon.
Ooh.
The granola. The granola is so incredibly fun and snackable. You can certainly throw it on top of oatmeal and add a crunch.
And you put the strawberries
And I did, and we'll talk about the fruits options coming up, but
Yeah.
granola and strawberries, a great little snack, a great little mom, I'm hungry, you know. Listen, you know how kids are. We may be worried about when the power's coming back on and whether we could get the water out of the basement and all those things.
Right.
The kids are like, yeah, what's for a snack? I'm hungry. So there's a snack, right? Just light, fun, but flavorful.
But real fruit.
I know, I keep making you do that, I'm
I
sorry.
was trying to take a really small bite, but it's delicious. This is the same flavor of granola that you would get when you purchase, you know, your granola at the store or something.
Absolutely.
But your granola, no matter what kind of bag it is in, will not last 25 years. That's what's so incredible about this. The flavors are just like you made them because a chef made them.
Yep.
Then they just dehydrated them. They've all been cooked. That's why you only have to add water. That's why you could add cold water. I've got plenty of pasta in my house. We stock up on pasta.
Yep.
You can't just add cold water to pasta.
Good
It
point.
hasn't been cooked, right?
Right.
You add cold water, and this gets back to how that chef made it, unlike anything else in your pantry. That's why you really, you need to have emergency food. This is good tasting emergency food. It's comfort food. And the deal today, it's incredible. So this is also in that dry bag. You literally don't have to worry about this for 25 years. Should be $124.95. I think it's more than that on ReadyWise's website. We've got it just this week for $35 off. And you can get it home for $29.98. Now, why are we putting it on auto ship every 30 days if it lasts 25 years? Because you might be using this as your way to save money on groceries. You might be using this as a back to school for kids because you want them to get 40 grams of protein and you want them to get healthy carbs and fiber and delicious food that you aren't cooking for them because they're away, that's why we have this on auto ship as well. But I think, so it's 7 days of food for one person, right?
It is, although you can think about how you like to divide your food in your family too.
Sure.
Because it's 1,800 calories and 40 grams of protein figured out per day. So the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Red Cross both recommend, since we're talking about preparedness, that you have 3 days of non-perishable food in your home. And that's 3 meals a day of 3 days. Per person.
Okay.
So I don't know about you, stocking the pantry is not my greatest skill, to be very honest. As my kids say, there's never any food here. And when there is, they eat it so fast anyway. So what you do is you think about, at the very minimum, per person in your home, 3 days of food. Now, if you can do 7, it's obviously even better. But listen, we recognize budget constraints and all of that. So look at the amount of people in your home. Figure that this will do 1 person for 7 days, so roughly 2 people for 3.5. I can't do the math, but we'll go ahead and just say 2 people. For 3 days, right?
So if you have 2 people in your household, this meets that minimum requirement.
Yep.
But for me, I mean, I've got 3 kids, and what freaks me out most, though, is not being able to get food. The things that sort of disappear from the shelves are the things that are the easiest to cook. You can't get bread, you can't get eggs, you can't make,
heck, you can't get them when we don't have an emergency most weeks at our stores, you know? I mean, not to make light of it, but we know supply chain's a concern. So you add an emergency to it, and I know many of you in Kentucky with floods and with the fires out west, you're seeing this, right? Trucks can't get through. So then we add to the problems we've already had with just the world in general's supply chain. Then you add a natural disaster to it, and food that your family needs and wants may not be there when you need it and want it. So that's what this is all about.
And speaking of not being there when you need it and want it, I'm eating these strawberries, and I want everybody to know how you can get fresh. How can you have real fresh strawberries in the middle of an emergency, but also in the middle of not strawberry season, right? In the middle of like the winter when you can't get strawberries, or maybe you're in a state that